Hey, good morning, my neighbors. Welcome to another episode of BYTTT. Before you take the trade, I want to say thank you to everyone that did sign up for the Get Funded program. By all means, we should have some fun. We're going to start that up on Monday. Also, down below, Elite is giving 90% off of all their products except Fast Track. Go ahead and get yourself an account if you're a seasoned trader. It's not for my new traders. If you're a new trader, listen, I have my one-on-ones open. It's going to be open into the 28th of February before I have to go ahead and get some more work done. So if you want a one-on-one, go ahead and hit my link tree, sign up for a one-on-one, and we can go ahead and break down some of the stuff that you might have as a challenge. That said, let's go ahead and get some work done. The first thing I want to kind of talk about is what's going on with the market. Looks like NQ is trying to do its thug fizzle, I guess that's the word I'm going to go with, and try to really take out these bears that was trying to short this market since back here in December 17, December 18, somewhere around that ballpark, right? And I think the reason why we're having such a challenge is because right now we got new administration and people in their feelings, and you already know how that goes, and you don't know which way the wind's going to blow. Is there going to be tariffs? Is there not going to be tariffs? Are they going to give Doge stimulus checks? Which is starting to get even more hilarious. If you really ever followed me, I talk a lot of smack when it comes down to doggy coin, and for the doggy spokesperson to be in the middle of the government for a Department of Government Efficiency, it's probably one of the most hilarious things I've ever heard in my life. But hey, got to give props where props due. Great marketing. But if we really look at this chart here, we are not flying to get these new highs. To kind of give you a perspective, let's kind of come back a little bit. You remember this high right here? The one that we did back in July 2024? Well, they did want to get back up there. Again, we didn't really fly there, but when we were starting to get close to it, it took off. Got a nice little reset, then reset the most recent rejections, right? That's what you kind of want to see with all-time highs. So this one, we kind of did a little bit of a walk, but then we kind of flew where we broke out of all this recent highs. We just kept on making new highs, new highs, new highs, new highs, new highs, new highs. And then it just took off, and then they said, boom, we established this level. So I was expecting when we made this massive candle on Thursday that this Friday one was going to be a straight clean move. Monday, everybody's just seemed like they're sitting on their hands, sitting on the sidelines, and they're like, I'll trade it, but I am not long-term swinging for the upside. That's what it smells like. That's what it looks like. And we could go look at more instances of that, right? Here's our new high right here. This kind of did a double bottom. They started to push up. They thought it was going to stop at this order block, which kind of created it here. But then when they realized like, oh, damn, we cannot make no lower lows. Bang, bang. Consolidation, take profit, found support, can't break the level, and then bang again. We're going to keep making new highs. And that's what kind of drove that bull run. And you can keep on doing instant after instant after instant, right? And I think this one right here is just steam has ran out a little bit. So we're going to see what happens. Of course, we got to accept the market that's presented in front of us. We do not force the market. So we're going to see, can they get up there? Another one that I'm looking at is oil. Oil does look like this order block is trying to hold. I am bullish today, even though this is a hammer. I don't think we're going to go ahead and make a lower low down to 71.71. I think we're going to go ahead and take some stabs, probably build some positions for some other people to get in on this elevator as we attack this wick to $75. That's what I'm expecting. All right. And the last one is the dollar. The dollar is struggling to hold its highs, and it looks like it's in the middle of a bear flag, and this thing can go ahead and extend down, especially we are in the second deviation of a downtrend. So I'm very, very curious, can they break this even further down? If it does, it can get real vertical to the downside, and the first thing I think is going to be a target, one, a fair value gap at 106, and depending on the momentum of the break, we're probably going to get into that 105. That could be our catalyst to get NQ and ES to make new highs. All right. Whew, that was a lot of information, but I just want to make sure y'all fully prepared. All right, if you have not been on one of my trading floors, I try to make things very simple because at the end of the day, the most simplest trades are usually the most profitable trades when it's all said and done. All right, so the first thing I want to kind of tell y'all about it is opening range breakouts. It's nothing spectacular. It's nothing new. We're not reinventing the wheel. It's not my strategy. It's a strategy that tends to work consistently. And when I mean consistently, we're talking about trading the markets. Anything above 55% with proper risk management is a consistent W and win. So that is what we're talking about. So do not just go ahead and just jump into trades just willy-nilly. Okay, so how we do it, we box out the first 15 minutes of the market when the market opens, and when that happens, the first breakout using the 5-minute candle closing above or below will be our entry respectively. Okay, so that is what we do first. Another one that we do is market dominance. It's an indicator, proprietary one that I created, kind of giving me an anticipation of what the next candle will be. Is it going to be green or red, assuming that there will be some pullbacks or continuation. But the first one I want to break down is yesterday's opening range breakout. It was very interesting, just like most of them are, because again, every day is unique. So it gives you more experience, so that way you can understand how the market moves and understand how your ticker moves. Because the opening range breakout for NQ is not the same as opening range breakout for like Nvidia or AMD. So it's a good practice for you to kind of paper trade that and learn how your ticker moves. All right, so here it is. This is our 9:30 candle of Wednesday yesterday that kind of had its massive movement. All right, so let's go ahead and just get this. Boom. Let me get my orb template. Bang. So now I am bullish above this level. I am bearish bearish below this level, and I don't diddle in the middle. So that's stranger danger. This is when the market starts to do all types of funky stuff, start liquidating people, and then you start to lose some money. I don't like to play in the middle of ranges. All right, so that is what we had. So now right here we had a nice little break. This was a very solid break, and I had a lot of momentum to the downside. I was able to enjoy that and make a good chunk of money. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the 5-minute on how that looks, because even the 15-minute, if you did it on a 15-minute to 15-minute candle to candle, that is a strategy too. I don't like to follow that because I like to refine my entries. It gives me better stop losses. But let's go ahead and look at that 5-minute to kind of make it make sense. Here is our that's 21. And let me go back. All right, so here is our break. Right now, when we did our break, the first thing that it did, and I apologize for everybody that participated yesterday, Transformer Blue kind of threw everything off, and I was able to capture it from my phone. But when it came down to my future side, I did a lot better because by the power finally clicked in when they switched the circuits. Oh my God, I caught a lot of this. It was great. So yeah, so nice little break at this level here. It kind of popped up inside of here, which was around that time I did not see the trade per se, but I was able to put a stop loss. It stopped me out. And then this one was a second instance. So let me explain what I mean by second instance. This first one, the buyers were like, let's go ahead and liquidate whatever sellers that came in. They were not strong enough to get past this level that would have really shorted out everybody's stop loss and probably even get back to these higher highs. What did the market do? New sellers stepped in, and then it started selling it down to this level. It broke. They did one more test to see if they can take out the sellers. They could not. So we just made nothing but lower highs this whole entire time, and I enjoyed most of this candle into this wick, and that was a good move to the downside. For those that are curious, you're talking about somewhat of 155 to 140 ticks to the downside, and that was a good solid trade. All right, and then you could kind of see we kind of did not make any lower lows here. We kind of retraced. This was the accumulation to try to get back up into that upper register, which is similar to like the opening range breakout that I explained to y'all on Tuesday. I was expecting for them to like really kind of push back up with some strength, knowing that we was coming off of the holidays with President's Day. It didn't really do that. It really kind of like held its position and was really tough. But most times when we do an opening range breakout like this, it usually retests to this area and then do a rejection. So it kind of gives you that push up, reject, and then if it can't make any lower lows, they liquidate, and then they just come back up and starts a new reversal trend. That's what I like to see here. So I could have played on both sides, but this one was a solid one. I did play a little bit of this small position, but I played a small position to the upside because I was expecting a nice little breakout to this upside. They just made it tough though. They really did, especially when we got to about, I want to say the last trade I took was before I hit the road, which would have been here. So we had a nice little break here, right? And as we broke this level, came back, retest, and continued to the upside, I was wondering, okay, maybe they're just trying to accumulate so we can come back out of the downside again. So I kind of sat back and waited, right? So I played a little bit, made a little change, saw this again, didn't play that one. And then when we started to come back through here, I got in roughly around this area here. And this just took its sweet time. It was not really going anywhere. Came back, retested the 5-minute fair value gap. And by then I was on the road and this thing just took off. Good trade if you did get in after 2 o'clock. I think my most optimal times are 10 and 2. I love those. So that was a good trade. The other type of setups that I like is opening range breakouts. I'm sorry, not open, market dominance, right? So with market dominance, the way I take those trades, I love the 45-minute. I'm more of a 45-minute trader than any other time frame. I am a scalper by heart, so there's a lot of my trades are built around the scalp with the theses, but generally speaking, I prefer being on the 45 minutes. So we could kind of see here on that first 45-minute, what did it say? It said, hey, you know what? After we made this drop, we had this massive candle here that took out a lot of stops. We're going to get a pullback. So the first thing that happened from here, which is that close, to this low, that was a 47 tick pullback. So when they did this pullback, that could have been played to the downside because they were anticipating that this was going to be a red candle. But no, just because it could be a red candle doesn't mean it's going to put in a red candle. Here's our fair value gap right here. Bullish fair value gap. And you could see they tested it for the stranger danger, which is the 50% of the range, and they repeatedly tested it again. That was another bounce here until it broke down, right? So this is that overnight session to kind of give you an idea. So knowing that this fair value gap is here, they used it as support. They try to carry on to that upper side. Now we got a nice little massive move to the upside, and then they started liquidating all the bulls that stepped in. Again, this penetration of the fair value gap all the way through, never been a fan of it. I like to see some space there. It lets me know that there's some lingering bulls there, and we didn't get that. So when we did this nice little drop here, it said, hey, we should be getting a green candle. Using the orb as an order block, we had a nice little bounce to the upside. That's what I like to kind of see with that, because just that alone, when it found a level, that was just 130 ticks right there. Very, very, very good trade. All right, so let's go ahead and look, because now it's 9 o'clock. First thing I want to kind of recap, there was news. Let's grab news. I like to use my FX book. It's my favorite. Let's see. All right, so we got Fed Goolsbee is going to be speaking in about 30 minutes. We also had jobless claims. Mixed bag. Very, very mixed bag. For initial jobless claims, we have 219. It's a lot more. So a lot of people are filing for new unemployment. You know, of course, this is like month to month, week to week. But this one is the week to week one. So this is February 15th. Then we got the 4-week average, which is starting to show it coming down. So that's bullish for the dollar. We're down to 215K. And then continuous jobless claims is also coming down by 1K based on consensus. It is slightly higher than the previous month, but, the previous week's reporting, but it is still bullish because the consensus was expecting something else. And then we had Philly manufacturing. I don't know how much that has an effect. I don't follow manufacturing index too much, but it's coming off as bearish for the dollar too. So for the most part, everything that was reported at 8:30 was very, very mixed and not really clear on which direction we're going to go. So let's go ahead and look at the chart on how they reacted to that. Let's come down to, let's do 15-minute. All right, our jobless claim candle would have been something of this right here. Yeah, it looks like they're still pushing this thing up. So we got an attempt to get down to this lower register. I'm gonna come down to a 1 minute so that way you can kind of see what I mean by that. It was an attempt. This whole entire actually take it back. What are you? 8:30? Yeah. So right here, this was their attempt to kind of give you a spike, and it came right back. So you're talking about a major move of 40 ticks here just to swing it all the way back down here. That's about 50 ticks. So depending on your position, you could have got liquidated here, but then you could kind of see it just kind of like stair step its way into here, some profit taking, and we're kind of double bottom this. So this thing is really putting some pressure to all the sellers that's there. Look at that. Now we're starting to really take off. So I think it's because of this 200 level, everybody was a little apprehensive to really invest. Yeah, they're really taking it out now. So this is what I mean by W. So you got yourself boom, 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 then this. And then when we broke this area, which ironically was like the 50% of that fair value gap, it took off. And this fair value gap, if y'all remember, was a fair value gap that was all the way back from yesterday, even further back than that, off of that range. So they're really using this area as a place for them to go ahead and give it a bounce. So that's probably the area that we're going to be really focusing on, especially coming into 9:30. It's probably going to give us a nice little entry right there, because I could see we could reject around here. All right, let's find some tickers that we could probably trade. But before we do that, I want to kind of just do a breakdown of what we do with the one-on-ones. The first thing I want to kind of explain is don't get yourself too wrapped up on forcing yourself to become a profitable trader. It's a process. It's not an easy way for you to really make it on your own. Get a community, get a friend. Even if you don't listen to me or you don't follow my YouTube, totally fine with that. But at the end of the day, I want you to first find high probability trades, something that you're comfortable with. And I need you to build discipline with trade structure and setup. Like, this is the other key part, because when you can combine the two, you get a higher probability of becoming a profitable trader. This is where everybody makes their money, is because they can follow those rules. Actually, this is a little bright. Let me just tone this down a little bit, right? This is where everybody wants to be. They want to be profitable traders and make their money. Where people get frustrated and they quit is because they probably have a high probability trade, but they have no discipline. You fall into the stairway to fail, and you sit here with trade structures and you wait for things, but you have low probability trades. Most of it is luck, unless you have a trade that's designed for low probability, but your structure is so sound that you stay profitable, which is very rare. If you ever read Tom Hugard's book on Best Loser Wins, there are hedge fund managers that makes really, really good money by doing so. But 90% of the time, it's high probability, waiting for your structure, gets you into this upper range here. All right. So that's what we want to focus on. So go ahead and sign up for the one-on-one. That way you can go ahead and learn the proper way of trading. Okay, here we are. Let's look at a couple of these earnings lists. Actually, let me run through my red list real quick. Let's see what Reddit's doing. All right, so we got Reddit still breaking down that trend line. I really would love for it to come back to 140. I really would. But again, this was one that is very meme-like. I'm not saying it's like GameStop or anything like that, but there is a lot of people that is supporting Reddit for everything that they've done with Wall Street Bets. So this release of this whole entire stock, especially if we go back to the monthly, this is a very young stock. They started back here in March of 2024, but it has done nothing but win since $37. So I'm very curious on how the month ends, because this could have been the top where they took their profits, and then everybody that tried to short it is part of this. So now they're starting to take their profits. Going to be very interesting how this recovers throughout. But again, I think we're probably putting this in only because of the fact they want to go ahead and retrace to the trend line, brings us to maybe even psychological 150, maybe even that. But we couldn't hold the 200 level. Let me go ahead and mark this off and make it accurate. And this is the one that kind of gives you a little bit of trouble. If we can get back above here somehow, maybe we just kind of zigzag the whole entire time until we get all the way over here to like mid-May. Maybe it'll go back up into that 200 and take off. But right now, I would love for it to get to 150. Let's see what else we got. We got Moderna. Moderna's trying to give its last effort. Give it a dead cat bounce, like it's going to go ahead and try to get up. Don't fall for this trap. I think you're going to reset the oscillator. It kind of gives you this bullish divergence. When the bullish divergence is over, that's when this thing is going to go ahead and just go even further down, and maybe even the OTC. They're a one-trick pony, and they haven't found another way to generate revenue, and they're already anticipating a major drop-off in revenue, so that's going to be fun. There's only so many COVID shots you can take. All right, and this is Shopify. As Shopify is trying to build and ride this trend line, I would rather a break, reset, and come back to this line than for it to actually find a support here, because I think it's going to turn way too vertical. Really, really good company. We'll see how it goes. This is Honeywell. Honeywell looks like it's going to go ahead and try to fill into this fair value gap. Let's see if that actually happens. I will be comfortable with taking Honeywell at 213 with the attempt of a breakout to the block, versus trying to get in right now, because anything here could come back and hit some of these stop losses, even come back to the 200. And then CCJ, this one is just fresh. I just put this one in here. I am looking for this bad boy to kind of give a little bit of a pullback. Let me see, which time frame did I draw that on? Maybe I just put it in the wrong spot. Yeah, I probably put it in the wrong spot. All right, so I'm looking for this deviation of this whole entire trend line to kind of play out, and maybe we just wedge right here and kind of go to the upside. I would love that, but because of the Clean Energy Acts, and Trump is going to go ahead and do the stuff, that new administration, I don't know if this is going to be one of the casualties. So can I play it to the downside? Yes, there is also a gap. But I think there's going to be more opportunity when it gets to this trend line to the upside than for me to play it down to the downside, about $4 or $5. So we'll see what happens there. All right. So today is Thursday. We do more of a liver trade. So Tuesday, we paper trade. Wednesday, we go with light leverage. Thursday, we take a real trade. Let's see if we can find a trade to carry over into the open, especially after the jobs report. Let's see. Oops, I just moved my line. I did not mean to do that. That was roughly around here. All right, let's go ahead and get back over to NQ. Now, NQ is what I like to trade because it's a lot of volume, a lot more fun, but it is a double-edged sword. All that volume, it can come back and bite you just as fast. So let's see. Oh, that's interesting. They did. I thought we was going to get a bit of rejection here. Maybe I should have assumed that. I think this 1 minute W pattern that we saw like a few seconds ago. Let me see, where do I see it at? Yeah, this W pattern from here to here. This is going to be our now new support. That's going to be interesting. Let's see if we can find something to play here. Let me get myself logged in. Can't play if you're not logged in. All right. I could see us get above 22,229, somewhere around there. That's what they're probably looking for. There goes the rejection. They made a higher high before that. I was looking. So as we're coming back to here, I think we're going to go ahead and come a little bit lower than that. But I was looking for them to do that here and here, not there. So you see how they kind of rejected. But this does look very, very bullish. Like it can push to more upside. Let's look at my 45-minute real quick. They could be trying to drag the 45-minute to get out of the bearish state, maybe get back inside of this fair value gap. That's probably what their aim is. This 5-minute is just way too overheated. It needs a little bit of a reset. But generally, I think it's going to be bullish. So let's get ready for light leverage. Nothing too spectacular. We'll go with, I should do MNQ for this one. I think I'm gonna get better. Nah, you know what? Just one contract. We'll do one contract. I'm not gonna do MNQ. All right. Let's see. They recovered it very, very well here. What time is it? 9:12. Yeah, I think we might be able to find an entry here as we try to break out of this range. Little overheated, but I'm trying to see if there's any targets. I think there might be a target to 238 that I want to play. Let's see if I can find a support that I feel comfortable with here. Let me put a paper trade here so that way I can monitor what I get into. I tried. Let's see if we can get one more curl up here where it starts to push this up. All right, we got a minute left and I'm curious. I think I'm gonna step in here with a first shot. I think it's going to be about 50 bucks. Do a stop like that. Let's see if it can actually give us a nice little curl, because I feel like they want to get those higher levels. It's probably not really ready yet, but I'm gonna get myself a nice little warm-up mental trade here as we take a shot here. All right, it's trying to work its way out. The question is, are they going to be able to liquidate some of these bears that's here? I do think we can still reject somewhere around that 220, but in the event that we just kind of like smash through 220, we're probably going to get to 225 really, really fast. I think they are trying to accumulate a position here. All right, so now that we got that, they're probably going to get ourselves a new 15-minute kind of like a retracement as they test it. Let's see if we get that, or do we take off? Brand spanking new 15-minute candle, so anything can happen. Do they pull it back into that area I said that was like a level of support that I saw? Maybe. But if they use that support, we probably put in a 15-minute fair value gap that could look very similar to something like this. Let's see how well that holds up. If we do that, we probably recapture this wick. Of course, around this time, there's not a lot of volume. But what I like to do when I, start off with these type of warm-up trades, knowing that we're going into the market, if I don't have enough cushion around 925, I'll just close it off. But what I would love to see is this thing takes off, gets above this level around 222, maybe give me like $100 of cushion, then I could just kind of like hold it over and feel comfortable with it. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, so they kind of retested this. So our fair value gap is about right here now. But we got a lot of time left. A lot of time. Yeah, you see that's the dance you don't want to see, because it tells us that they can't recapture this wick here. That's what it's starting to look like. That as if the bears are still using this area as an order block, that they're willing to kind of keep on shorting the market from this level. What you want is for the bulls to scare them, like, oh, let's get out of here, because it looks like we're not going to get lower prices, that we can't make money. Our fair value gap is getting tighter and tighter. Come on, baby. Give us a nice little explosion to the upside. That's what we want to see. Come on, baby. You're making my oscillator get a little heated. All right, we starting to flip that candle green again. And above 217 looks like that's what we want to see. Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. A little bit stronger though. A little bit stronger. Because I want them to take out this high and then they'll get above yesterday's opening range. Let's go. Come on. Give it that push. All right, can we get some follow through? We made a new high. I'm at my max capacity at this point. I don't want it to wick like that, but you could kind of see it looks like the bears are trying to do that. I like the fact that we penetrated like that, but I'm gonna hold on. I haven't moved my stop at all yet. I was looking for a solid break in continuation, but they hit the brakes at 23 as we were getting to 25 to 25. All right, this trade got 4 minutes to get right. Oh, we slicing ya. And again, that's why we wait for candle close. So let's imagine that this candle does not exist, right? I'm following the thesis that we made higher lows the whole entire time and higher highs the whole entire time. Here's our first explosion of that. Now people are waiting for a good entry. That's our pullbacks. We went ahead and made new highs as they try to liquidate some recent bulls. Some people are going to reposition themselves and continue. And I would love for this area to be that order block, as we had a order block of a rejection here, and as we were getting there here. And now we're testing to see, is this order block a support area or is it faux? And it's a resistance area. So patience, folks, patience. That's the game. That is the game. got about 3 minutes for this thing to act right. Come on, people. Yeah, that one. So then we could then recapture this area here. And when we recapture this area, that should really turn this MACD up. That should really put my 45-minute on a upward trajectory. And we probably could get some follow through. If this 45-minute could get up into this upper register on a stochastic, on a MACD, it should pin the stochastic here. And that should make the 4-hour look like a good solid cross. So that is what I'm looking for. We'll see how that goes. It got up there, but they couldn't hold it. That's not good. Not good. Come on, I need you to act right. And that's the other part of trading. Try to avoid micromanaging also. Right? Like right now, I'm looking at this 15-minute. This 15 minutes probably could be considered something around the ballpark of micromanaging, but not really. What I'm looking for is for this 15-minute fair value gap where my my stop loss is, to kind of like hold, stay right at that area, so that way it kind of gives us a little bit of protection and continues back up to the upside. You already made higher highs, so we already know there's recent bears that's here. The question is, in the market, are the bulls from here, here, and even the ones here, are they still in the market to try to see more higher highs? I'm leaning on yes, possibly. We got a lot of stuff that could point to the upside. All right, you got 60 seconds to act right. Come on. Oh, I hit my stop loss. You jerk. You are a jerk. So that means the fair value gap is failing. Either way, I was going to go ahead and cut this. Yeah, I could have taken my profit at these areas, but I was swinging for a bigger fence up here. So I was willing to let that stop loss work as long as it can. All right, looks like they did a little bit of a reversal here. Did they come in to sweep? Interesting, but we're not going to take any trades until the opening range, which is going to be in the next 6 minutes. So patience, folks. The goal of that trade is to find something that gives us a solid entry that we feel comfortable with to carry over, and there was none to be found. And they got the rest of the fair value gap there. Good rejection. Looks like the rest of the market doesn't agree. They didn't have anything to stay bullish either. Look what that does to an oscillator. Look at that bang. Before it was kind of like pointing straight up right here. Just let you know that the momentum has shifted. All right, 4 minutes and 22 seconds. Let's just take a quick look at what else is going on out there. Because I gotta go ahead and release so much stuff out there. Let's see. Not that one. I don't like their contracts. Oh, IBM, don't you oh, it did pull back and then push right back up. You jerks. How many days we have left in the month? So let's talk about IBM. And so IBM had very, very solid earnings. They had a dividend drop off that was going to happen. It was a little bit more vicious than I expected. And then they went ahead and recovered it quite well just now. So this looks really, really good. Well, not just now, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 days of that. So we had a 3-day drop to a 6-day pop. Nice doji right here. This is probably what their order block is. That's what they're looking for. Let's go ahead and put that as order block. Nice drift here. Give me something along the lines of, let me come up to a weekly. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. That week did not finish as an evening star. Nice support here, and then looks like we're gonna get ourselves a breakout here. Probably breakout above 265. I think they accumulated what they needed here, and we're going to put in this fair value gap on this weekly. Let's call it here to here. Bullish fair value gap. I really got to relabel that thing. And that's our support to try to continue this upside on IBM. But again, IBM, to kind of give you a little perspective, it is trying its best to keep this party really going. Look at that. Since 1968, this old company. Right there. Making new highs. So we'll see. We will see. Let's see if there's anything else I see before we get out of here. That's Team New. Apple just announced that they are making a cheaper iPhone 16. Wonder if this is part of that bounce. I'll show y'all Apple. This is its daily. You can kind of see. Remember that thing that I showed y'all in the 1 minute? Again, it's at the top of an uptrend. I don't like those, but if a duck walks like a duck, I'm going to call it a duck. And that looks like a W pattern. That looks like a W pattern. Nice solid trend right here. And this is the area here. So let's see if we can break this area here. That's our pivot right in that middle area. And it's 29. So let's go back to NQ and get ready to take our trades. 15-minute. Actually, 45 minutes. Let's see if there's any orb setting up. Not orb, market dominance. Oh, they already recovered quite a bit of it. Look at that. That's very jerkish. See that? Look like they did one last sweep to see how much they can take off of the market here. All right, let's see how it goes. We got ourselves 12 seconds till the party starts. Oof. What a drop. Came back inside that block. It looked like we're starting to establish something to the downside per se, but it is still trying to figure out its path in life. I really think the market is trying to make the new highs, but we'll see. It's patience, folks. Patience. Interesting. Yep, looks like we're going across yesterday's opening range. We just made a new high there. So let's get rid of yesterday's opening range. Let's start a brand new one. So we'll be bullish above here, bearish below there. We have our stranger danger in the middle, which looks like that's what we're lined up with right now. Oops, wrong one. That is not you. It's you. Got our stranger danger, which is right there around that resistance line that we had just drew. And they're trying to figure out what they want to do with it. Very, very choppy on this 15-minute. It's like we just can't break through. Are they building a position for more downside? All right, we just extended down a little lower. This fair value gap has been completely abused repeatedly. All right. Looks like we might get on the bottom of that fair value gap now. Let's see if that holds. Could be a sweep. But the market is going to let the bottom fall. I would not be surprised if it happens like this. All right, we're starting to get to some key levels. We get into that bottom area right there. Very volatile movement. I don't see any real trend per se. It's nothing smooth. This is our 15-minute still establishing itself. Maybe they're coming for this 15-minute fair value gap down here. They tried to push it right back up, but I think it's because of that wick right there. Off that early morning trade, I've already made enough to kind of get my money back-ish. Let's see if we can get that lower low. All right, let's close that out. That's about 700. I'll show that in a little bit. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a continuation past this level and fill the fair value gap down to this area here. Looks like we're not going to get that. We got a little bit of a kick. Let's see if they can reestablish that kick before all hell kind of breaks loose-ish. But we're still establishing that range. I needed to break under 172 again, but I don't think it's going to do that. They're trying their best to use this as a bounce area. One last shot at this before I get out of this thing. I'm gonna walk away with this last contract I have. Green. I know I don't have it on the screen. I'm actually in my real account, so bear with me. Can we get there? Alright, can't get there. It doesn't look like it. Let me get myself ready to get this closed. Give it that. Alright, I'm out of there. So I was able to recoup and risk. So I'm kind of like break even from what I had before. That's what I was kind of looking for, is to get my money back from what we try to trade to carry over to this opening. Played it to the downside. What I was looking for, was a break because all these people were trying to get up to that upper side. So I felt like all of that was buy side liquidity, and they grabbed it. That's what they were doing. I thought we could grab some more as we came into this fair value gap. When I see this fair value gap was holding, this is what's left of that fair value gap to put a little bit of an illustration to it. It's about this wick here. So we got a bullish fair value gap that we could not break, and this whole entire bullish order block that we would struggle with. So when we made that major move to that downside, I was looking forward to just continue to that downside. So keeping proper trade management to my plan and making sure I follow my discipline. It's very simple, nothing too hard. It's just as long as you follow my rules, I'll keep you. But if you start to break my rules, you got to go. So kind of give y'all a little sense of what I mean. I've explained this to you as we wait for this 15 minutes. So we got the high here and the low there. Like that 172 is a little tough. So kind of recap this. Right now, we're in here. We're in structural patrol environment. We're just watching the market. We're trying to find where the opportunities were. And right now, it looks like they're gonna try to do a W right now. But I'm not looking to play. I'm gonna wait for the opening range to finish off. Can it just drop all the way through and then come all the way down? Yes, it can. But that's where that FOMO kicks in. And this is anti-FOMO synthesis. The goal behind here is to avoid having that FOMO. All right. Anti for against, FOMO, fear of missing out. Synthesis is putting it together. So that means we are going to focus on sitting in our home. You see that? Look at that. I told you possible W right here as they keep on trying to go ahead and go to those higher highs. And if you can't read those micro trends, you could get yourself caught up. So I'm going to sit back, wait for our strategy. Opening range breakout. I'm probably, actually, I won't be surprised. Did that drop trigger market dominance? When it got to this lower register, it probably did. It probably did. But yeah, let's go back over to the 15 minute. But yeah, so what we're going to be doing is like, wow, I should have taken it in my live account. Yeah, that's cute and everything. But overall, we're sitting and watching. I did scalp that to the downside. It was a little dangerous. That's why I didn't really announce it on this side. I don't know how I can show this because I told myself I'm going to redo the P&L chart. Let me see if my P&L chart is up to par. Nope, that is not that. Yeah, I gotta figure out my P&L chart. I gotta fix it so that way I can see it. But so I am negative $15 after that massive pullback. They cost me like $300. Very small position because again it's a scalp. You want to go light, and as long as it follows the rules, you can keep it. Nice solid W. Look at that. They're gonna try it again. They are really buying up this dip. So they're really trying to get to the upper side. Let's come up to the daily real quick so I can explain what I mean. So this is that doji, and we're probably gonna put in another doji, but they're trying to, like, the bulls are on this side, the bears are on this side. If you draw a almost like a channel looking thing. Let me just do it like this. Is that the angle? That's a solid angle. It's kind of like the market is doing something like that. And then there's another channel. I think I got the good angle like that. And there's another channel that's doing something like this. So it doesn't mean that it's going to make it all the way down to this wick. It's going to find these areas that they feel like, all right, this is about the good price, and I'm going to have my stop loss here. And they're like, well, this is a good price, and I'm going to have my stop loss up around here. And I think these converging fights is happening right now, and that's why we're getting all this chop. So I'm looking at it like that, even though I don't have a trend line and I can see it. After you trade it for a couple of years, you're going to start to be able to do that. So that's why we're just sitting in our structural patrol environment right here, just watching, because I don't care what the market is doing. I don't care what the opportunities. I want to see my opportunity. And since this scalp that was so green and ready, because I knew all that liquidity was going to get tested, I've already did that trade. It maxed out to here. I was looking for more so that way I can get some real solid profits, and didn't give it to me. So now we're going to wait for our next setup. Our next setup is opening range. Don't fight with the market. Don't be like, I shoulda, coulda, and all this stuff. Those are the things that get you into a lot of trouble. And in about 3 minutes, we're going to get step 1 of our setup, which is the range. Step 2 is going to be, what is our entry? Our entry is going to be either above that bullish line at 225 or below that level at 171. Just that simple. Nothing hard. So don't go fighting with yourself because you're going to be this guy. You're like, I'm in the market, but you didn't have no real structure. Why am I getting wet? Why is this going against me? Now you're angry and you're like, I'm going back inside the house. And then you feel like, oh, I lost all that money. I might as well quit trading. This is the difference between that and that. Just stay in your structure patrol environment and wait for your setup. There is no setup here that looks good. Let me even go a little bit further, right? Remember I said it looks like they're putting a W? That W, you would have to be quick enough to see it, and this is a 15-second chart. That was the only place that I was going to see it. Like it's if I go to the 1 minute, it looks like straight disgusting jambalaya rice, but it's still going up. If I go to a 5 minute, look at this. This is a mother-baby type of action. You would have to have confidence on that and get through stranger danger area. Like this thing could pull back in like 2 minutes unless they recapture that wick. So very interesting type of price action. Let's come back to the 15 minute because we're still waiting. Very interesting doji is what we're putting in right here. And we could get a nice little push to the upside because you can kind of see price action started here. The bears try to control it down to here. They're looking like they're going to recapture this area. In 1 minute and 43 seconds, if this finishes just like a doji, I will not be surprised that we bullet right through here. We'll see. 1 minute 31 seconds. It feels like forever, don't it? That's when you know your FOMO level is on high. Like if you're seeing this bar, like, oh my God, look at that horn tie wick. I should have took that one. Yeah, you're in FOMO. You're in FOMO high. Don't do that. Don't do that. That 200 level, we're back here again. That's yesterday. 222 200. They're going to try to use that support here. Can they do it? Can they force this to be a tight doji? Looks like they did. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, look at that. All of this in 60 seconds. It looked like we was put in a doji. Again, this is why we wait for candle close. Don't chase the cat. The cat scratch back. I'm telling you. This is a perfect example of that. Very perfect example of that. Stay in your home. Stay in your structural patrol environment. Watch the market. Let the trade come to you. 18 seconds. Oh my God. They ate up everybody that pushed all the way up. Look at this 1 minute chart. Bang. And it's outside of our bearish line at the last second. You jerks. Oh, that is so evil. That is so evil. Gotta readjust that line. And oh my God, hold on. I can't do it fast enough. I can't do it fast enough. All right, so we need a 5 minute close below of this level. Market dominance did trigger. So we could get ourselves a continuation. So let me go ahead and mark this off in the event. Oh, you jerks. That is very jerkish. Let me get that fixed. Ah, you jerks. Very, 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 very interesting what they just did there. That was jerkish. Let's come back over to the 5 minute. So what we want to see is a 5 minute close below this level and see what it does right there. Yeah. That is an engulfing candle on that 5 minute like you've never seen one before. That is crazy. All right, we got 3 minutes and 46 seconds. If I were to play this to the downside, the first thing I'd probably be doing Of course, waiting for my close. That's the key thing, right? Let me see if the 15-minute gives us enough areas. Yeah, lots of chop for that order block. The first thing I would like to see is how they respond to 140, 21 140. Okay, thank you for letting me know.
Oh, that you're in a recording.
I am.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's why it's so spinning in your ear.
Okay, thank you. I don't want to get in too early, but I feel like I will be missing out on an opportunity because I think that massive rejection has a lot of momentum inside of that candle. I almost want to go ahead and set up for 140 now. But I feel like I gotta wait for this close. Because what we did, we put in not a fair value gap. What we did, we kind of have this cross section order block here. Yep, they get that 140. They're gonna try to use this as support. Yeah, that could have been the play as we were coming right back through here. I know it's going to be a hard hold because we're right around the 2150, another psychological level. You see how they bounced it? All right, we got a minute and 9 seconds. We're starting to get that tail end of everything here. Now let's see how much of a jerk they're going to be because this is really, really part of that opening range breakout in itself. That 5 minute is looking very heavy. I'm looking for them to break under the 2134 with some strength. Good solid opening range breakout, but it's doing some dancing that I don't like when they dance like this. I want that impactful breakout, like oomph, jab in the throat, keep dropping, bang 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 bang, you know, something like that. And it's like it's staying and hitting the brakes right here at this 128 that I don't like, but I think we're going to get it. I really do believe so. All right, so that's one there. Now I'm looking for 118 so that way they can test 100. There we go. All right, let me go ahead and start getting myself ready. Come on, hold that water, hold that water, hold that water. Come on, hold it, hold it, hold it. It's not holding that. I might have to close this out at full position. Come on, hold that water. You got this. We're doing one more massive drop. Come on. It showed me as much as 1500. I gotta walk away with it. If it, oh, there we go. Let's get a scale out of here. Ah, damn, that's not the price I wanted. That's not the price I wanted. Let's just lose another 200. All right, cool. All right, so that was a solid opening range breakout. How can I show this? I want to show y'all my account. That's the whole problem with this. So that was a $1,200 move. I know it's going to go further. Look at that. And that's why I was going to hold on to a runner. And these mofos was being jerks. The real target I think they're looking for to let y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day, because I do have to do my hard stop at 9:45 and I'm lingering on. We're going, there we go. We just liquidated the market dominance continuation. Now we're probably going to go to that 2100 bounce as people take their profits. Look out for that. If it holds, we're going to 22,045. Great trade, everybody. That was a solid move. How can I show this without showing my account? Oh, I know how. We'll just go straight to my Tradeovate. So this is one of my, damn it. Let's just do it there. Put in the wrong password. Oh, we are going to the 42. Oh, as I'm going to put in my that's why I wanted to keep a runner. That is exactly why I wanted to keep a runner, but they gave me the wrong price on my first kick out. Don't you just love the market? Here comes 042. Be careful here. Be careful here. Watch for the bounce. That's my 800 EMA on the 5-minute. Great opening range breakout. Oh my God, that is freaking ridiculous. I had 6 contracts on that one. Okay, let me grab this. Boom. Grab my report. I am done for the day, as I am slow walking this eval to get prepared for next week. If you have not signed up for the Get Funded program, I'm telling you this right now. Don't let me get funded before y'all. It's going to start next week. Boom, 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 boom. Let me download a PDF of it because it won't show my account number. Perfect. All right. To kind of show y'all, this is saying February 20th, 2025 at 9:54. Right there. Just to let y'all know, this is a real evaluation, unlike some other people out there. Anyways, moving on. So, oh, actually, the date's even here. Kind of just y'all know. So, I had a drawdown. That was that first morning trade. We kind of tried to look for a position to hold. My first trade, it gave me a recoup of my funds, which was this, and I closed off my runner. This one, I just closed it. They gave it to me at break even. No wonder it just looks so crazy. But yeah, I had as much as 1,500 at that time, but they pulled it back on me. But it's all good. It is the way the market grows. All right, so I love scaling in. That's what y'all probably saw right there. That is how I trade, and looks like they gave it a nice little bounce. They're gonna go ahead and get a continuation. But this is the most epic of opening range breakout. I gotta go hit up some of my people in the community because they love opening range breakouts just as much as I do, and I wonder if they made some money on like NVIDIA. Let's go look at it, NVIDIA, because I know Lee loves his NVIDIA. Let me see how that one looked. That right there, it is a drop. So if he was one deviation out of the money, he could have played that right there. Now it's not as impactful as QQQ per se. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I didn't even reset that. Let's go back to the video. I'm in the wrong spot. NVIDIA. Let's go back to the video. This is actually the old opening range breakout. Let me see what this one was. So 15 minute. Oh yeah, nah, it's a lot better. It is a lot better. Boom. Orb. Nice break right there. The first 5 minute, enjoy the entire 5 minute of this candle here, especially if you caught that pullback. So yeah, probably about $1 movement there, but not as impactful as QQQ. Again, I love the Qs for obvious reasons because the movement is like that. It is really, really like that. Here's our first 15 minute right there. That's our orb. The 5 minute that broke was here, and that was $1.66 of a move. So depending on which contract you went with, that was going to be a solid move. And they are continuing this drop. Look at this. If they take out this low right now, bang! They took out all the bulls that stepped in. It was like, oh, we're going to buy some more here. Yep, there we go. They got them. They got them. Let's go to NQ. Let me give you 2 more minutes to kind of give you a little bit of a play-by-play. Let's see. What are they looking for? They're probably looking for that 22,000 level on the NQ. Probably here. But that's a massive drop. And that's what I was saying from the daily. I was warning y'all a lot earlier. I was like, Doji, these buyers versus these sellers, they're still selling up here. They're buying. So someone's got to win this battle. This is a perfect example of wedge action getting completely and utterly destroyed. Now we're probably going to test this fair value gap and come into this area. If we decided to try to play this fair value gap, let me grab this box. Our fair value gap is from here to here. Next target, 21,955, right there. That is what I'm looking for. All right. That said, I want to say thank you very much for joining for another episode of BYTTT before you take the trade. Down below, don't forget, Elite is doing 90% off. Click the link. That way you can go ahead and continue to help this channel. Also, we are going to start Get Funded. Let's get funded. We're going to try to do it inside of a week. If it takes a little longer, I will stay as long as it is until you get funded. That is the goal. So go ahead, get an account. Go ahead, sign up for the program, and we're going to go ahead and get ourselves funded. That said, thank you. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe button. That way, the algorithms help me out. I appreciate you, and I will see you on Mindset at Saturday at 10 a.m. If you don't have a link to that, DM me on Instagram, JD_the_great, and then I'll be back here again on Tuesday at 8:15. I appreciate you. Have a great day. Good luck.